feet fetishes. You've heard about them, you've maybe come across one, or you maybe might even have one. Quentin Tarantino, Elvis Presley, Enrique Iglesias, Tiger, Andy Warhol, Ludacris, Megan Fox, they are all reported to be massive fans of feet too. Why do feet hold such an erotic appeal for some people? What's the history behind foot fetishes? And is it as common as we think? To help me break it all down, I'll be chatting to Keith today, who's actively been embracing it his whole life. We're going to be asking what draws people in and how it manifests, and what people with actual foot fetishes wish the rest of us actually knew about it. But before we jump into it, let's take a step, or a toe wiggle, back in time to uncover where this all started. So, foot fetishes, where did they all begin? They're one of the most common fetishes in the world. In fact, studies have shown that feet and toes are the most fetishized part of the body outside of the typical erogenous zones.
There's no business like toe business.
But why? Where does this obsession with feet actually come from? If we look back into ancient China, you can look at the eroticization of tiny feet, lotus feet, and through a craft called foot binding. See the picture up here. Sigmund Freud also had a theory that it could develop from childhood associations, or even a strong association with an object, such as feet or shoes. It could later manifest into a fetish in adulthood. In terms of modern psychology, what does this mean? Well, neurologically, studies show that this part of the brain that processes feet is next to the part that processes genitals, potentially cross-wiring it all. So let's get to the soul of this video and go over to Keith, who's had a lifelong foot fetish. When did you first discover that you had a foot fetish?
About 8 years old. Was my dad's ex-girlfriend. We used to play footsie. She used to tickle my feet, and that's a start. And also my dad's feet, to be honest with you. I think a lot of foot fetishes start seeing family feet, or something like that. So that's how I was, and I was about 8 years old, and I just fell in love with it.
Is it a certain element or a feeling?
It was a feeling, how it looked. The beauty of it. I think female feet's very beautiful, and it was just that. It's just drawn to it. It's like a lot of people like breasts and other things, and there's people like me who like feet who find it sexually attractive and just very beautiful. It don't have to always be sexual. It could be, just to look at. It's like art. It's like a thing of beauty.
Okay, so it's more kind of from a worship perspective of it's a beautiful part of the body, because the foot's not a sexual organ.
You read stories online how this happens, and it's something in your brain. It's like you're just attracted to the feet. Again, some people like breasts, some people like this, that. For me, it's feet.
Obviously, you registered this at an early age, and then, you had it in your brain. What happens after that? Do you start looking up more? Because I'm thinking, like, when you're this young, I guess there's no internet, and you can't really go and research and Google these things. How do you get your fix of feet, essentially?
Yeah, I don't want to get too weird, believe it or not. I used to play with my dad's feet on occasion. When you start getting puberty and stuff, start getting all that, you just imagine. Imagine female feet. You use your imagination. About the mid-'90s, I started going to stores, adult stores, and they explore me to what is out there. Again, it was videos. There was no internet. There was no podcast in those days. So you had to work a little harder, believe it or not, to get those urges. But it really took off for me in my mid-20s.
So is there like a certain type of foot that is the creme de la creme for a foot for you?
The bigger the better, maybe. They gotta look nice. I mean, okay. I think there's different degrees of foot fetish. There's different degrees of it, and some like it more smelly, or some like it more dirty, or I like it more clean. I don't mind a smell, but I like it more clean. So there's different varieties, as long as if they're well kept. And some like them messed up. I know. Again, there's different variations of foot fetish. I got somebody next to me have a different perspective of what they like in feet. So it's for each individual, each person to say, I like A, B, and C. For me, I like a nice clean foot. I don't mind smell and whatever. The bigger the better. maybe size 8 or 9 or something, but yeah, I like it more of a clean look.
So is it just female feet for you, or is it male feet too?
I prefer female feet. I don't mind male feet. I have played with male feet before. I am straight, but I played with male feet before. I prefer female.
All right, everyone has their preferences. So obviously you've had partners and, you know, you've connected them with your foot fetish, I'd imagine so.
It's tough, you know, at times. I've had girlfriends, and one out of the blue one day said, I don't like feet. And that was fine. That was fine. I didn't mind that. My current girlfriend, I have licked her feet a few times. So she has an idea, but she doesn't know the extent of my foot fetish. That's the thing. I think she goes two and two together. I wish she would play with my feet, and she don't. We do play footsie and stuff like that, but, you know, I do lick her feet, but she doesn't know the extent of it. But the other ones, I play it cool. I don't say it to them, you know. And I lick my girlfriend's feet in foreplay. I do it in foreplay. I don't lick her feet all the time. So it's just in certain situations. So again, she might have an idea, but she doesn't know how extended it is.
Okay, so obviously you said you like to introduce an element of this into the foreplay, but you've not kind of said it outright and, you know, brought it to her. That's something that you're shy or nervous about.
It's not accepted. You know, I think people that like me that love feet, we're the outcast. You know, and I think people at foot fetishes get a bad rap. You know, and I'm a, you know, everyday person. You know, I have some rough things happen in my life with health and stuff, but I'm an average person. I lost my job, whatever, but I worked and take care of my mother. I'm an average person, and you know, maybe there's some really freaks out there, but 90% of the people that love feet are everyday people. So but a lot of people just don't accept it, and it's, you know, that's the way it is.
My thoughts would be, as long as you're being respectful about the foot fetish in the right times and the right places, it should be a normalized fetish, surely.
You know, a lot of people don't like their own feet. I think that's the first thing. And I think also where you live, here in the United States, it's not really accepted. Maybe in England it is, maybe over in Denmark or something, it's more accepted. You know, and I think maybe more people are open to it now on social medias and stuff, but it's something you just don't shout from the treetops because you will get ripped more times than not. And I think people in foreplay, Heidi, don't give feet a chance. Play with it in foreplay. Play footsie, tickle feet. You don't have to lick feet. I'm not going to go that far if you don't want to, but play with these are his feet. Try something different. If you don't like it, then you move on.
Do you think because people don't necessarily understand it initially, they're so dismissive of it? Do you think that's what it is? They don't understand it, so they just instantly write it off?
I think, you know, people that love feet, I think we know the score. I mean, let's be honest, it is odd. Let's be fair. To answer your question, a lot of people are aware of it. Hey, well, you know, hey, this person likes feet. Whoa, wait a minute here. You know, so they are aware of it, and a lot of them keep it secret. You know, and I try to do my best to keep it secret.
Is there an element of the secret you enjoy keeping? Do you enjoy having it as your own little thing?
That's a good question. Yeah, I kind of do. It's my own little world. It's my escape, Heidi. It's my escape. You know, we go online, or I write stories for Divine Art, and you know, I kind of like it that way too. You know, it's just my own imagination. I see people laying in the pool. I see their feet. I can imagine. It's my own little world. So yeah, I never really thought of it that way. How you asked that, but I kind of like it the way it is, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your, your stuff out here today. But I guess one thing I do want to ask is, and I want to try and understand it because I don't really understand it myself. What are the biggest misunderstandings people have about foot fetishes?
I think it's a lot of it believe it's bondage, and there's different degrees of foot fetishes, and one is the sub-dom thing. I'm not into that. I don't like that kind of stuff. I like when two ladies are licking each other's feet. That's me. Again, that's me. Person next to me could be totally different. I think that sub-dom, submission, domination thing, that's taken over the foot fetish on clips for sale and stuff. It's kind of taken over. And I think that's one misconception is, oh, they're into bondage and stuff. Well, that's not necessarily so. There's some, yes, but not necessarily so. But it's just, people think it's weird, and that's the bottom line. And they don't, go on.
No, you continue, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I just think a lot of people think it's weird. And
how wide does this variation of foot fetish go? To be honest, personally, I don't have a foot fetish. So I just think feet are nice. I personally don't feel drawn to have anything more with feet. But you've just mentioned there's different elements that I would classify as separate kinks of whether it's a sub and a dom. But you can have that around feet.
you can, because they're forcing someone to lick their feet. Now, a lot of people like that forceness, and a lot of people go on with it. Well, and some like that forceness. So, that's really the only thing. I mean, there's foot sex and stuff and foot jobs and stuff like that, but stuff I don't get into.
What's foot sex?
That's basically if two ladies are putting their feet in their privates. Foot job is a guy screwing a female foot. That's what that is. So it can get very sexually, and there's again, it could be playful, it could be sexual. There's so many different nuances to it. It's not just, I love feet and that's it. There's me that love when ladies lick each other's feet. There's some that like domination. There's some like tickling. There's some that like smell. There's some it's just drawn sexually, or they just love it. It's to them. So yeah, that's some domination. There's some people that, they think of bondage. They just do. I don't know why, but some people do.
Okay. I mean, what's the most interesting angle you've seen on a foot fetish? Because you said you're more into the just, playing, kissing. But what's the more extreme thing you've seen with a foot fetish?
Oh, I've seen on video, and it's just, I don't like this stuff, but I've seen on video, like someone licking dirt off someone's foot. I don't like that. Some like it. Like that, for example, or they put food on someone's foot, like, chocolate or something. Again, that's not, some people love it. For me, that's not for me. I like it a certain way, but I see some crazy things. I've seen people whipping feet. I've seen it all, believe it or not, and I just move on from some of that. But I've seen some stuff that even I, as a foot fetish person, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here, this is nuts, But to some people, they love it.
How have people reacted when you've revealed your foot fetish to them?
Well, I never really did.
So
I never
there's
really.
not one or two you do.
No. I have a habit of looking down at feet, and I think I've been caught a couple times. And so to speak, they didn't say to me, "Hey, look, what are you doing?" Where I used to work, there was a lot of females, and I looked down when I walk, and I can see their feet, and I think they caught me a couple of times, to be honest, and you had a vibe. There was a little vibe there for a little bit, and they kind of moved on, but there was a vibe a little bit. There really was. And
Yeah. I guess,
it's a habit. There was a habit. Go on.
Yeah, sorry, you just said something interesting earlier. So, you said you mentioned some people are going to be into, tits or whatever. So if you were looking at your colleague's boobs, that would be so inappropriate. But But I guess with feet, you can kind of get away with it a little bit more.
True, but again, as 90% of the people are going, what are you doing? I mean, that's just how it is. And there's nothing, I agree with what you're saying. It could be a lot worse, to be honest. Never thought of it that way, but it's like, I think more people should talk about feet, Heidi. More people should talk about it in podcasts, in situations. People talk about other things, that's okay. When they talk about feet, it's like, whoa, wait a minute here. Well, wait a minute. It's not for everybody. It is odd. I'll agree with that. But give it a chance,
Tolerance.
at least. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, do you think it's becoming a bit more mainstream?
I think it is a little bit. There's a couple of celebrities that open up about it. I don't remember their names, but hey, I don't remember a couple top of my. I don't remember top of my head, but there's something I remember seeing online that, hey, I don't mind it, or like Britney Spears one time said, I don't mind it. For example. But that's as far as it goes. So,
he has a foot fetish.
yeah, that's right. That's true. You're right about that. So it's a little more out there than it was 10 years ago. So it's also, people are making a lot of money off this. And OnlyFans, clips for sales, they are making a boatload of money off this. So that was something that wasn't happening 10 years ago.
I mean, I guess because porn models were run from very traditional perspectives of, people would think it has to be this really heteronormative, like linear way of looking at sex and attraction. But now that people are more democratized, attraction feeds onto so many different more aspects, and you can almost get your own organic niche porn, I suppose. OnlyFans is a really good thing to touch on. Obviously, it's grown so much. Do you subscribe to a few different OnlyFans feet accounts?
No. I'm very picky, to be honest. OnlyFans, you gotta know which one you're doing. It's like, well, I offer foot stuff. Well, is it good or bad? It's hard because you gotta pay for it. It's not. They don't give you samples that much, and like I want clips for sale, where I buy from Foot Clips. I don't buy like I used to because 90% of it, it's some submission domination stuff. So I have to go and pay extra money for a custom because I'm running stories on Divine Art, foot fetish stories and stuff. That's more I'm going to now. So you adjust over the years. Like now, I'm just not an OnlyFans person. I just don't know what I'm getting into. I want to spend my hard-earned money. I want to make sure it's done right. Not just these ladies a lot of them are scams. A lot of them are taking your money. These ladies out here, they know the score. They know the guy. The guys love feet more than female. It's more of a male thing. There's some females like it. It's more of a male thing. Some of these ladies know the score, and they know they can make a lot of money doing this stuff.
So I think that's a gap in the market you've told to maybe the OnlyFans content creators of not everyone wants the domination and submission, foot fetish type content. There's space for different types, which is always good for them to know. In terms of, having paid for foot related experiences, summarize some of the different types you've participated in.
You mean person to person or online?
Both. Give me a splattering.
I usually buy clips from Clips for Sale because that's a fetish site. That's based in Florida, the United States, and they're worldwide. And they cover all fetishes. They cover some stuff that I'm like, whoa. But feet stuff. On Clips for Sale, they have. There's a lot of fetishes, Heidi. There's a balloon fetish. There's lifting and carrying. I also like when people jump and pile on each other, like a dog pile. I like that kind of stuff. They have stuff like that. They have, people in diapers. I mean, there's so much of it. But I think feet is the number one. People think of fetish, they think of feet. That's their number one thing. But there is so much stuff out there. You gotta go on Clips for sale.
Are you in
What's that?
tandem with the hand fetish community?
Hand?
Yeah.
No. I'm sure there is. People like noses. I mean, it's just, you go on Clips for Sale, there's hundreds and hundreds of different fetishes out there. But feet is the number one thing people talk about. But you'd be surprised some of the stuff they have on there. Like I said, I like when pylons, people jump on each other. It's something I like too. But there's so many out there. But feet's number one. But I usually would buy from them. I have licked male feet before once. I met some guy on a chat room when I lived somewhere else. We licked each other's feet, and he was gay, I was straight, but we respected each other. We knew what was going on, and we just wanted each other's feet, I only did it once, then I moved, unfortunately. I tried to hook up a couple of guys out here, but the scheduling was conflicts are really hard. So, like I said, I don't mind male feet. I would prefer female, but it's hard. It's hard to meet up someone because it always seems like, oh, you talk to somebody who loves feet on Reddit or on Instagram. Well, they live 1,000 miles away, or they live in England. It's hard to. You gotta get lucky. If you want like one-on-one situation in person, you gotta get lucky. Have
you ever met someone who's got a pair of feet that they've just spoken to you? They've broken through the mold. These are just the best feet you've ever seen.
They talked to me about it? Is that what you're asking?
You've seen a pair of feet and you've gone, that's the best pair of feet I've ever seen.
Oh, I have, but I don't tell them that. No,
Yeah.
I don't tell them that. No, I don't.
So you do like to keep it almost inwards. You do enjoy the secrecy a little bit.
Yeah, it might be, the less said the better, Heidi. The less said the better. To be honest with you, sometimes just let it go. It might open up a can of worms and you
can never let them know how much you're actually into it, because then
No.
you can exercise a certain amount of control over that.
Right, and hey, and maybe in a female, maybe they do like feet and they kind of give you hints, but you're still like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. You just, like I said, the less said the better sometimes.
I do feel like it's changing a little bit though, and I feel like the online explosion of content creators catering to it has shifted the gears a little bit. But how do people navigate discussing their foot fetish? How do people navigate discussing their foot fetishes, now, would you say?
I do in chat rooms online, on Reddit, Instagram. Well, it depends. Instagram doesn't like feet for some reason, but Reddit's...
Why?
Instagram, they have foot material on Instagram, but some people get the boot. They do.
So they're okay with like the skimpiest of bikinis, but not a foot.
Right. That's my point. I think that's my point.
There's no shade to the bikinis, but
Right. That was my point earlier. Is that we gotta talk about this more, accept it more. And Instagram, they're fickle. But like on Reddit, on Divine Art, on some of these other sites that you could be more open about it and still hide.
You've said like the advice for people who maybe are a little bit more nervous about it and they're looking to find that community. Go to your Reddits, go to your Clips for Sale.
Clips for Sale. It's CLIPS, the number 4, SALE.com. They're out of Florida. And they have a lot of foot stuff. They have foot smelling, tickling. I don't like to use the word worship, but foot licking and other foot material, some soles. I mean, the heels, whatever it is.
Okay. And finally, before we stop, what do you think about mine?
Hold on a second. I can't see. Hold on a second.
Oh, no,
hold on.
like a bit of dirt one.
Oh, hold on. I can see you now. Okay. Oh, they're not bad. What size are they? I can see you now.
A UK 7.
I don't know what that. They're not bad. They're not bad feet. They're not bad. I can see them a little bit.
Big for a woman. Well, they do need like a little file and a little pedicure at the moment, so.
But yeah, and I'm on Divine Art. If you people want to see my work, some stories I'm writing, it's Tippy Toe 3 is my thing. It's TIPPYTO3. I do have some foot stories, might not be suitable for everybody, so I'm warning. Again, each to its own. So I have some work on there if you're interested in looking. I have some photos. I don't post on Reddit that much, so if you want to check it out, and really, if you're listening to your podcast for the first time and you're interested in feet, take a look at the Clip site, take a look at some of these social medias, and you can aggravate. Like my foot fetish has changed in the last 30 years. It's changed. So you start, make a base, and then you navigate through it. You might like some, you not like some, then you go from there.
Well, we'll leave all of your links and stuff in the bio so people can find you. And a big thank you for coming on today and just speaking about what you love.